Hey guys, welcome back to Cadence RC. Hey, so today I actually going to do a little bit of a review on Injora 40mm shocks for the SCX24 Base Camp. I've had these on for I've actually had these on now for a couple of days, about a week, and I've made some adjustments. Actually, the last time I had it out, I actually ran it with them on, but have made some adjustments since. Just trying to get the best performance out of them that I possibly can. So this will be the first time running on this sort of known surface with the changes that I made. Nothing major, just kind of some relocation and a little bit more following the book on setup. So the big thing that I did is I actually, as far as changes from the first time that I ran this, is I actually relocated the shock. So I don't know if you can see this right here, but there's a shock hole right below here, and there's the same thing on the front that actually moved the shocks up into an upper position to kind of lower the truck a little bit. Because the thing that I noticed, and I'm sure that they do this for adding bigger tires, but I'm trying to just do kind of one at a time things, and wanted to get this thing back down to a regular, reasonable height. The other thing that I had done is I'm a racer, and I filled up my shocks like a racer. They were working great, but I went ahead and redid them based on the recommendation from the factory. So that's the big changes that I've made. So lowering the truck and doing that. I can see that this one shock has leaked like crazy, which is surprising because there's hardly any oil in there. So I guess that's something to note. Let's see how this thing performs. So this little spot is just right off the parking lot over by Whitewater Park here in Boise, not too far from my house. And so you sometimes hear people and cars and things in the background. So right off the bat, my impression is, so the big thing that I wanted to get rid of from the factory, the factory springs or shocks, I should say, don't exist, right? They're friction shocks, and so it's just a spring with a friction-based shock, and they're really bouncy. They just don't have a very good scale look to them as they move around, because when you kind of touch them and move them, they just sort of flop around, and I'm not super concerned about that kind of stuff, but a lot of people are, and it does make it look a little bit more scale having a shock that actually functions correctly. But yeah, so far what I'd say with this little change that I've made is the performance of the truck is way better. So really small, simple change. So again, this is the 40mm Injora shocks on the SCX24 Base Camp. I have found that so after doing a little bit of digging on these little trucks, they actually have different chassis. So like the SCX24 chassis is different than what it is on some of the other vehicles, and so some of them have other places where you can mess around with shock positions more. This one does not, and so that was something, something of note. I don't know if you can, there you should hopefully be able to see that. Just kind of a curved rail system, and I've seen people kind of messing around with moving shocks into positions, like kind of in here, but it didn't really seem like that was going to be very feasible on this particular chassis. And I do like the idea of a more vertical shock. It seems like that's, when you look at a full-size vehicle, the shocks are oriented the way they are on this little truck. So, I know that there's a performance reason why they do that. And part of what I think when I think about like this little truck versus, getting something else, is I feel like you have like your scale crawlers, right? Like this, I feel like this is like to me, this is like a scale crawler, and it's going to be a limited performance vehicle versus like something I might call or I would call a competition crawler, where it's like a dedicated crawling vehicle that, you know, in the real world you would never drive. It would be a vehicle that you would take strictly to competitions and run. So I guess my expectations, I'm really trying to get onto that rock and I just can't quite do it. But yeah, so to me, my expectation for my little base camp is for it to act like a real truck, and the challenges are relative to what you can do. Obviously, like, this is going way beyond what you would do with a real truck, because it's a toy and you can roll it and scratch it and it doesn't matter, right? But still, the idea is there. Let's just see. Let's head up. I want to head up this little canyon. I think I drove this little truck up this. I say little canyon, right? It's just a little wash. But for this little truck, it's a pretty serious little spot. I'm going to change my... I've been playing around a lot with, these don't have a 2-speed transmission, obviously, and, putting it into crawl mode, but we do have the throttle percentages that we can change on this truck. And so I've been playing around a lot with running it at, 75 and 50%. To sort of make it act like it's got a multi-speed transmission, and that's been actually really handy. So these little radios have this little switch on the side of them, 50, 75, and 100%, and yeah, I can slow down the action of the throttle by changing that percentage. So that's actually something I've been kind of enjoying messing around with. We'll switch it up and see if we can get a little bit more juice out of it, find our way. Ooh. See if we can bounce our way onto that rock with a little throttle action. Maybe steer. Nope, not gonna make it. Oh, not gonna make it because I caught somebody's fishing line. That is a bummer. That's first. What a bummer. I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down for a minute, see if we can fix that. Alright, I lost a little bit of footage. I haven't watched it back, so I'm gonna try my best to not re-say anything that I had said previously, but so yeah, after getting a chance to kind of crawl around with this little truck for a minute and start trying to find that performance, I gotta say, definitely the Injora shocks are a noticeable improvement now that I've got it lowered. I actually was not as happy with those shocks in the stock position. I felt like it had lifted the car so much that I felt like I was getting a lot more rollover with it than I did with the stock setup, especially when I had it out at Hobbytown. Has a little course, and I was running it there, and I felt like the performance of like their stock car and how I felt like I got out of my own stock car was better. And now I do feel like after lowering this thing down that little bit, I've got much better performance. I do need to go in and look at why I do have that one shock is leaking out pretty significantly. So it'd be, I might have to go farther into it, which is kind of a bummer. Brand new set of shocks, but not going to blame Injora for that. That could be me too. And that's easy, at the end of the day. Tear into the shock and make sure all the seals are good. But yeah, later today, so once a month on Wednesdays, they do a little crawl thing out at Action Hobbies. And so I'll be going over there later today. Maybe I'll share a little bit of footage from there in this video. But as for now, yeah, the Injora 40mm shocks, definitely a good improvement. Do the little lowering thing if you're going to run the stock tires. I think if you're running, definitely if you're running larger tires, they're going to be a huge improvement. And then they also come with different weight. Oh, accidentally bumped my play button here. Oh, good. We are still recording. I'll probably have to cut out a little section of that. So I'll try to remember that that's there. But yeah, definitely if you're adding weight to the vehicle, so bigger tires and adding weight, the car is definitely going to perform better with these shocks on it than it would stock. So these are a well worthwhile upgrade. Anyway, again, thank you so much for watching my videos. Please like and subscribe. I am finally kind of getting some traction on the channel. I'd like to see it grow. Maybe we can turn this thing into more. Finding my groove as far as trying different things, as far as doing like the weekly race videos, the race updates, and what's happening within our community. I'm going to be trying to reach out to some manufacturers and see if I can at least get on a schedule for when things are coming out, so that I can be a good news channel for you guys and be on the spot as far as what's happening within the RC world. And yeah, again, thank you so much for watching my videos, and I can't wait to see you in the next. All right, so yeah, last night I got a chance to go out and run at Action Hobbies. They do once a month, they bring out some crawler courses. They actually, apparently one of the courses was brand new. Really fun to get out there and run with those guys. I didn't get a chance to shoot any video, so I'm just actually, this is a little rock right in front of my house. I'm gonna see if I can't figure out a way to tackle this thing, and just kind of tell you. So yeah, last night was really interesting. I got a chance to run, obviously my car with the little bits of differences changes that I've done to it, and looks like I'm buried in, and the truck performed, oh my God, incredible. And it was really interesting to get out and also try a couple of other rigs, some very, very heavily modified vehicles, and see how they worked, and see what the advantages were. I actually really like the challenge of having maybe a car that's not quite as good, and so I actually, some of the challenges when I was running other people's cars. Let's see where I'm at on my video here. We're not, the challenges were almost non-existent with some of the other cars, and I actually kind of thought that was a bummer. And so the more modded the cars were, I guess I feel like kind of an open class car versus like something like this that's more of a replica crawler. I think I kind of mentioned that earlier in the video, but and then we did a little test. We put a set of very nice wheels and tires. My friend Kevin loaned me these. We threw those on, a pair of brass wheels, and did some running with this little truck with just these shocks and the brass wheels. And honestly, even with that, so it's funny, as I do my build up. I'm going to kind of keep that in mind. We're actually going to go ahead and do a little challenge, so I'll keep you guys abreast of what happens within our little challenge. But so Kevin and Troy and I, a couple of guys from here in town, are going to have a little challenge together. So we're going to run, we're going to be spinning to win or lose our upgrades, and so I've got a few upgrades to do to catch up with those guys, and so I'll keep you guys up on what's happening with those as I do. But yeah, Injora shocks, great upgrade, definitely something that you guys should seriously consider. And again, I'll let you guys know as my upgrades and things change on this car. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Please like and subscribe. I'm so bad about saying that stuff. It is really important, and yeah, anyway, I can't wait to see you guys in the next video.